Welcome right back to another episode of Vikings Happy Hour. We have an affinity for this. It happened last night when we just signed off, and it happened again today. But again, welcome back to the show here. We just got done talking about the Kirk Cousins restructure, and right as we log off, we get the great news that the Minnesota Vikings have re-signed center Garrett Bradbury to a 3-year, $15.75 million contract. Miles, it's a bit lower than some of these other guys who have been getting
Yeah.
that like 3 or 18. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah. I just tweeted out like right when we've heard that Garrett Bradbury is re-signing. I just tweeted out, I bet it's just like a 3-year, $18 million deal. And then it comes out it's even less. That's perfect. I had originally thought going into the offseason, the center market would be like 3 years, 21 to $24 million type deal, like what Brian Allen got with the Rams last year. And this is significantly less than that. That's awesome. I think Garrett Bradbury wanted to be back, and I think the Vikings getting him back at just a tick over 5 million per is a phenomenal value. Garrett, we know how good Garrett Bradbury is in the run game. He improved significantly in the pass game last year under Chris Cooper, the new offensive line coach, and like the Vikings' new scheme under Kevin O'Connell. And so getting him back at age 28. So you're kind of getting him at the twilight of his years. This is probably his only big contract he'll get, but he was a first round pick. So he kind of got to make up for it. But I think this is great. I think this is the best case scenario for the Vikings. They don't have to go then find a brand new center. They're bringing in a guy back who that they know that they can continue to. I hate to say the word develop for a 28-year-old, but like develop under this new system and the new scheme
Right,
more so
right.
than it is like developing the player. But hopefully he can build off a strong 2022. And it's a 3-year deal, which is perfect. You don't tie yourself up too long term, and you're not overly paying him too much. And so I think it's a good happy medium for both sides. And I'm guessing that it's more probably closer to like a 2-year, $10 million type deal than it will be a 3-year, almost 16. So
Yeah.
this is best case scenario for the Vikings. And real quick before you jump in, it'll give them still more flexibility to go sign that cornerback. Like maybe Byron Murphy's on the way, that type of thing.
That'd be
Um,
awesome.
this will allow them more flexibility to go get hopefully a better tiered cornerback
Yeah,
or
yeah,
another position, right?
yeah, absolutely. And to your point, yeah, again, a 3-year deal. I mean, in the NFL terms, that's a 2-year
Yeah.
guaranteed deal, basically, right? So we're going to be with Garrett Bradbury for the next couple of years, which isn't a bad thing, as you had mentioned. I mean, if I would have been saying this a year ago, you'd be like falling on the floor because of my disdain for Garrett Bradbury. But the fact that he had shown quite a bit of improvement throughout the year, specifically in the passing game, and being able to have a little bit more of a stout anchor against some of those more stronger interior defensive linemen that he has to go against. So
Yep.
very excited for him to rejoin this team. And again, at that deal, I mean, you can't beat it. He's getting paid a hair less than some of these other guys that were going in Bradley Bozeman and Ethan Pocic.
Yep.
So, which again is a huge win for us as we look at the needs that we have on this team. You had mentioned specifically cornerback as a big need for us, and the more money
Multiple
we can.
cornerbacks. Yeah.
Multiple. I mean, yeah, we
Yeah.
literally have 4 cornerbacks on the roster. 2 of them have played any sort of NFL action. The other 2 being Tay Gowan and Kalen Barnes. So we need to get some help for Andrew Booth and for Caleb Evans, who are both very capable players, but we need more depth. So Byron Murphy, big name. Rocky Yassin.
Yep. Sean Murphy Bunting.
Sean Murphy Bunting. Shaquille Griffin.
Emmanuel Mosley, I think he's one of those like I know he's not under the radar because he was really good before his ACL injury last year, but
yeah,
he's a guy that if like we talk about time horizons with like he's young, just like these other guys that you mentioned. I think maybe like some of these. I mean, I think you should get like if you get one older vet, I think that's okay for cheap, but they need to get one mid like young like 25, 26-year-old corner or 27-year-old corner on a multi-year deal, just like what they kind of did with Garrett Bradbury and Josh Oliver. Like they need to get younger, but they also need to get guys that they can have here for multiple years. So that's the hope.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, if you're just joining us, Garrett Bradbury, re-signed with the Minnesota Vikings, 3-year, $15.75 million deal. Again, very excited for this just because it's affordable. You're getting a quality veteran. And again, I don't think this prohibits us from going and, potentially drafting a center this year or next year. And then, giving them maybe a potential window to be groomed under a Garrett Bradbury, maybe a guy like Ricky Stromberg or that kid from Michigan. I forget his name, but yes. So there's definitely some options there. So again, hopefully news doesn't break the second we end this broadcast.
I know. I'm trying to eat my lunch, man. I've been trying to eat my lunch for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen. This is free agency frenzy, right? So that things are coming in hot. So as more starts piling in, we'll be going live. We'll be jumping on these shows and making sure that we keep you guys up to date with our thoughts on what's happening around the Minnesota Vikings sphere here. So until then, and hold on one second, quick shout out to our sponsors like Monster Brewing and That's Badass Wood Art. So, all right, thank you so much for jumping in, Miles. Thanks for listening in, everyone, and we'll be back soon. Skol Vikings.